Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Linn, and I hope you're well. And if you're not, I hope you're well soon. So, we'll get straight into the message. It's been a little bit since I posted, and it just hasn't felt like the right time to post anything. But now it feels as if it is the right time. So, here we are. That in itself, it's actually interesting because if you experienced this last full moon, the Aries full moon, I noticed some things that occurred for me where the theme around that moon is being more courageous and taking steps towards doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do, things that maybe in the past you would have held back on a little bit. And for some reason, you felt this renewed sense of energy of, I'm actually going to try something different this time. I'm actually going to step just a little bit out of my comfort zone and see what happens. And I feel if you're already in the energy or you're stepping into it, it's almost like you surprised yourself with what you're able to do. And not just that, but where you had limitations that kept you from doing things that are actually easy to do. So, for example, right before this video started, so I have this lighter, right? Like these handheld lighters. I don't like these. They actually freak me out because I'm always afraid I'm gonna burn my finger when I like do this. But my other lighter, which is not like this one, is dead. And it died right when I was trying to light my incense. And I was like, oh. But I had this one around and I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I used it, didn't burn myself, everything was fine. And I wasn't afraid of it either. And that was symbolism to me for this message specifically. It's like you, oh my gosh. The Fool. I did pull some cards. As I do. The Fool and the Two of Swords. It seems like you chose to step into this path, even though it might have been a little scary, or maybe you're noticing that the things that used to be scary are not actually scaring you anymore, and you're just doing them, and then you're like, wait a minute, why am I not afraid of this? Why is this easy? And it's because this specific energetic shift that's been occurring lately, I feel like a lot of people have, I don't even know how to fully explain it, right? Because these energetic things are not fully something that you can even conceptualize or communicate to people in a human way. It's just felt and known intuitively and internally in the soul. So you may have noticed that you and other people are doing things you may not normally do, or suddenly you have this energetic shift of people are just doing things in a different way, or doing things that they used to be afraid of. And it's freeing. It's like taking off the shackles and finally taking action toward things that used to bring fear. But as you do them, it brings confidence. The Boar and Pumpkin, confidence. It brings a sense of confidence, of self-mastery, of, well, actually, the more that I take action in ways that I may fear, but I know are going to broaden my horizons, the more I expand. The more I expand, the easier it becomes to walk your path instead of run away from it, is what I'm hearing. Interesting. Interesting. So that is what I'm getting so far. Yes. Death. And the old paths. Walk in unknown territory to see from a new perspective. Stepping into a new territory of living, a new way of living that is literally completely different. Completely different. If you looked at yourself now versus even just a year ago, two night people that are night and day, completely different. if you're resonating with this. In order to see new perspectives, you do have to walk into unknown territory. You have to allow yourself to break down, fall apart, or simply put yourself somewhere that you have not been in order to grow. If you stay, think of it this way. If you are growing in certain soil, but that soil has begun to dry up and it stunts your growth, if not bringing you to stagnancy or maybe even you begin to die because the soil is not moist or is not fertile enough to sustain you. Well, I know plants can't move, but I'm just thinking of this metaphorically. In that instance, you would want to be moved somewhere where there is more lush soil and more space to grow, more rain, more fertile ground to grow. Putting yourself in another place is going to allow you to expand. If you stay in one place which you know is not helping you grow, you will stay stunted and stagnant forever. And you know this. And so this is interesting. You recognize that though you may feel discomfort as you step into unknown territory, that discomfort is way less than the discomfort of staying stagnant, of staying stuck. Yep. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of this courage and this vitality of the newness of your path that you're walking. The self-doubt is actually lessening, is what I'm hearing. If you had self-doubt, which I think most people do in some form, about the spiritual path you're walking, or the path that you're walking in general, if you can relate to having a lot of ups and downs in your mentality, having really good days, but then having really bad days, it seems like you're coming to a calmer foundation within yourself, this confidence, a strong, okay, we'll get into it, but we also have the bat and hellebore intuition, and the spider and passion flower creative ingenuity. So what I'm seeing is you are finding a firmer foundation within your own vessel, your own body, which makes it easier for you to essentially anything bad or good that happens outside of you, you're able to take it in a way that is more balanced now, if that makes sense. You have such a firm foundation that the highs and lows of life around you, or of life itself, or potentially your sensitivity in general that you've had to live with if you are a very sensitive person, it's becoming easier. You're becoming more resilient and being able to tame and temper those energies so that they don't throw you off track, so they don't keep you down for long or keep you imbalanced in a way that's going to cloud your ability to listen to yourself, your intuition. Yeah. And your ability to be in your own flow state. To be patient. To make choices from a space of calm rather than chaos. And chaos is not always negative chaos. It can be positive chaos too. Let's not forget that. So when you're in a heightened emotion, whether it is really good or really bad, whatever you want to categorize it as, making decisions from these heightened emotions it's not always intelligent. because it's emotion. And making choices solely from emotion or solely from logic it's not the best way to make choices. I was actually just talking to someone about this. This is so funny that it's coming up. The most balanced way to make a decision is from a logical and emotional place in a balanced, calm way, is what I'm trying to say. Acknowledge the emotions that you are feeling. Acknowledge the thoughts you are having. And then feel for a middle ground between emotion and logic. And often the middle ground is the calmest, most balanced place to make decisions from. And I think you're starting, I think that's part of the self-mastery here, actually. Is you're finding a better way of making decisions in your life that's balanced for you. Yeah. Mastering your decision making. What? I just saw 1111 on there. Mastering your decision making, which is crucial in life because you have to make decisions every day. Small decisions, big decisions that can change the trajectory of your life and of others. I'm also seeing this renewed sense of comfort in being in your feminine energy. In your masculine too, but in your feminine energy in the sense of expressing your feminine energy outwardly into the world without shame. Without shaming it. Not shaming the parts of yourself that are more vulnerable. More emotional maybe, but just more vulnerable is what I'm hearing. I think the shame is leaving you, is what I'm hearing. The shame is leaving you. And when shame leaves you, that's when you're able to be your most authentic self. Because you're no longer being put down, whether subconsciously or consciously, or externally, internally, for being who you are. For existing even. There is generational shame within all of us. Conditioned shame within all of us. That says that there's something wrong with us, or at least indicates that. And I remember listening to a podcast. It's actually by Mark Manson or something. And it's about shame. It was one of the more recent Spotify podcasts that he put out. And at the beginning, they talk about how evolutionarily shame was an indicator. It's kind of like, it was an indicator for survival, essentially. It was necessary for survival, because if you did something to someone else, I think the example was if you stole food from someone, that person might die because of the severity of cavemen. The severity of an action like that around the times of cavemen, because there were so many dangers. And most of the time that was hunger, murder, disease, other animals attacking you. So there's like so much stress. So shame became something that was normal in order to keep people safe. See what I'm trying to say? But now that humans are not in that place, or at least not all of us, there are still people that are suffering out there, and we pray for them, and we hope that this world becomes better in that way too, and in those places as well. But humanity as a whole is growing toward a place where shame is not always necessary. Toxic shame is not necessary. There can be healthy shame in order to have morals, to have order in ways that are beneficial for all. But there's no need for toxic shame that holds you back from your full potential. And this is what I'm seeing is you're letting go of this survival shame that you don't need. That is actually hindering you rather than helping you survive at this point. And this is especially for those of you who have gone through a lot of trauma or difficult circumstances, either in your childhood or your adulthood, whatever, whenever, however, in your life, that was severe to the point where you felt like you were in survival mode. Or maybe it wasn't even severe, but it was just conditioned into you, this fear and this shame and this guilt. And it weighed you down. And this full moon in Aries, I feel like, was a very big turning point in letting go of that baggage, shedding that baggage and stepping into more sovereignty and independence and a stronger sense of self, balance within, that you are actually in control of your life and your destiny. You know, you deserve to have this confidence. And you are able to make more balanced decisions for yourself now. You're not living in survival anymore. I think it's a very full circle moment. You can actually make healthy decisions for yourself now. Yeah. Wow, and we have Spiny Sister, take pride in yourself. And Lady of the Lost, give to others, treasure life and all its magic. This is the thing too, is I think you're finding a balance between giving to yourself and giving to others in a healthy, balanced way. Right? I think you are stepping into interdependence with people rather than hyper-independence or codependency. There's more interdependence where you can be, oh my gosh, you can be more vulnerable while still being able to keep boundaries and be there for yourself, to be independent, to step into and make decisions that benefit you. Yeah, oh, this is beautiful. You're finding it easier to live your life as yourself, be in your body, and do things that you enjoy without shaming yourself for it. You're able to tell the voice in your head that says, oh, you shouldn't do that, blah, 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 oh, well, blah, 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 like just all those old stories and conditioned phrases, even words, phrases, beliefs that have been on repeat in your mind like a broken record. It's like you're stopping the record. Forget broken record, the record's gone. Like you're shattering the record. You're throwing it away. You're saying, I don't need to listen to you anymore because I actually know the truth now. I know that I deserve these things. I know that I can be healthy. I know that I can make decisions for myself that are good, that are beneficial. And I may not always know exactly what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. And here it is, confidence and intuition. But I trust myself enough to discern and to see what is true. I trust myself enough to make choices and to embody the self in a way that is balanced, that is wise, that is not fearful but is trusting. That's what people would refer to as being surrendered. But it just feels easier to say trusting in some ways. Trusting in yourself and trusting in the universe, God, source, whatever you believe in, really. Trusting in life itself. That wherever you are led, however you are led, you will be able to handle whatever comes your way. And in this, you are finding this expansion. This expansion that you thought was to be achieved through constant struggle and suffering, and that someday everything would just be perfect and dandy. It was, you went from an all or nothing mindset of where you had to struggle and suffer and prove yourself worthy of these things and of this state of being, or that this state of being that you were trying to achieve would make all of your problems go away. But actually you're finding, again, it's more of a middle ground. The bad stuff doesn't just disappear, but your ability to handle it and interpret it differently has changed. Interesting. So, that is what I'm getting. And I hope that that was helpful. And I hope that you're all well, and if you're not, I hope you're well soon. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.